しい未来を描くイメージはひまわり心を開いて My dream 前を向いて青空を見ている私ひまわりのように咲き出し夏になりピカピカの太陽元気いっぱい笑顔のまま
You learn a lot about people when they are playing pretend in a world that isn't real.
I played first when I was 7.
I started about 8 or 9.
Since college, I started playing in 1991.
I have run games for my mom, my dad, my sisters, my friends.
He got me hooked, and I've been playing ever since. This was like some of the best times I've ever had.
It's limitless.
I ended up throwing a boot at one of my party members, and he's my husband now.
And that's the thing that connects all of us, is that we all love D&D.
We've made something that's its own thing. That's the joy of collaborative storytelling.
It's almost like it's a metaphor for life, right?
This group was the thing that kept me going.
The good friends in this life that I have, I found playing D&D.
This is our tribe. D&D is our tribe.
I think it is important.
You could actually let your imagination go wild.
The world is your oyster. The possibilities are endless.
I'm doing you a favor! Pow!
Today, the D&D audience is bigger and more varied than it's ever been before.
When we can come together in the same room, it's a different relationship, it's a different bonding.
So what do you want to do?
Attack! We have rewritten the player's handbook from beginning to end. So yeah, if someone asks us what's new, yes.
Making the sections up front that are all about welcoming you into the game and teaching you what the game is before you actually start building a character are hugely important.
This is the first player's handbook in the game's half-century of life that teaches you how to play before it tells you anything else.
Just super approachable. It feels like it's way more welcoming than ever.
I love making changes to the game based on what the fans have said.
The cat has dark vision.
Yes.
The cat has dark vision. It's so stark, the difference between what we had in 2014 and what we had in 2024, and it almost feels like there's more life and fun potential, and there's more energy that's just waiting to be released in the 2024 Player's Handbook.
We have brand new spells, enhanced spells, brand new feats, character options that weren't there before, more subclasses than were available before, ways to customize your character that you never could before. Your character's background now influences who your character is through the life of that character in ways that it never did before. Every species option in the book has been redesigned. It is a complete reimagining of the book. When we embarked on the redesign of the Player's Handbook, one of my big priorities for our work was to create a way for our weapon-focused characters to engage with the game in new tactical ways. We created Weapon Mastery to give our fighters, rogues, rangers, paladins, barbarians, and others, really any character who is all about using weapons, a set of tactical gameplay options that they never had before. We wanted them to feel like, just as our spellcasters do, that each round they have a set of options that can meaningfully alter the tactical situation in a battle. We've been working with our friends on the D&D Beyond team so that when you go in and you've purchased the new Player's Handbook, you will be able to enjoy Weapon Mastery on a character who has access to that feature.
Everything is new in the Player's Handbook. I think every piece of art is new. Everything's illustrated, so the players get to see trying to support the text as much as possible with options for your characters, options for your spells, options for everything you can play as, basically.
Being able to identify with all the characters that are available makes them feel like they're part of it, and they can visualize it better if they can see themselves in these worlds.
The rules glossary in the Player's Handbook is a super handy reference. You can just go and alphabetically find whatever crunchy detail of the rules you need to know in the moment.
A number of the people who've already seen the book often say, this whole book is great, but I would buy this book just for the rules glossary.
The 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide is really a top-to-bottom rewrite of the 2014 Dungeon Master's Guide. It is chock full of advice for Dungeon Masters, old and new, for you to really take it and run with it.
There is a big, fat Honk and Treasures chapter in the DMG, which is not surprising to anybody who's seen DMGs of old. We've got 100 pages or so of magic items in the DMG. Many of them are new, just so we have a very well-rounded selection of magic items to choose from.
I think the combo of the PHB and the DMG combined really feels like something that will be way easier for a new player to experience, from whether you want to be a DM or a player.
There's so much more art in this book than there was in the last one. And 99% of the art in this book is new.
Dragons are cool, and we like dragons.
This is by far the most monster-packed monster manual D&D has ever had. Part of that, frankly, is when I was drafting the original outline, I just couldn't stop. Yes, the monster manual is about giving you the rules for the monsters and cool art. Really, for me, it's this massive tome of inspiration.
I'm working on the monster manual. I think about when I was a kid picking up the book and being like, this is the coolest creature I've ever seen. I want to make a campaign with this in it. Or like, I'm just obsessed with how a displacer beast looks. I want to make this monster manual amazing.
I'm so excited for other people to be able to read and engage, and just opening the doors for more and more folks to jump in on this. It's going to be so much fun.
We're working on translating the Player's Handbook and the other core books into French and Italian and German and Spanish.
It's so wonderful when we can have translated versions to make it easier for the next generation of D&D fans in other parts of the world to jump right into the game and start playing.
Genuinely, I love this game, and I think it helps so many people from a role play perspective, a friend perspective, and just a way to hang out with your friends to get to know new people. And if it can let you play better or find new things, or even better, find new friends and find social groups and express yourself in a way that you've never been able to do, that's great.
So when we think about D&D into the future, one of the ways that we're thinking about it is, what can we offer our fans that are the best versions of things that they've never seen before and things that they may have experienced but they want more of?
The Dragon Anthology book will be the first anthology and adventure book for the new 2024 rules.
This anthology is all about dragons in dungeons, and it's kind of surprising how many people say that they've actually never fought a dragon in D&D.
It is a book of 10 short adventures that all feature dragons in dungeons.
We have an amazing new starter set that we are creating. We really lean into using components to teach people how to play.
I'm always fascinated by playing with new players. So the first time that a group sees a beholder and doesn't know how many eyes it has or what they do, it's going to be an epic moment for them. For the context of this box, it's in a place called the Borderlands, and it takes the players to kind of these three settings. There's the keep on the Borderlands, there's the wilderness itself, and then there is the Caves of Chaos. Sets them forth on this, this awesome journey that they can have for years and years and years, and hopefully bring that starter experience to someone else down the line.
We can't say enough about how grateful we are to the local game store community. So how do we set it up so that they can create these amazing, beautiful play events? Part of the way that we're doing that is game stores will now get early access to our releases 2 weeks early. And those releases will be supported by play programs so that a store owner can go, hey, you've got your book early, and now here's some adventures to play along with it with all of your friends in the store. One thing I love the most in this world is that's when I can bring Magic and D&D together. They're both just so special to so many folks. And Magic is going to highlight D&D's 50th anniversary with some secret lair drops today.
What's your favorite part of D&D?
The minifigs.
The next step for us with LEGO is really to explore what it looks like beyond a major set. And so we're doing 12 minifigs. Those are going to come out on 9/1, so very, very, very soon. How exciting is that?
To
be part of a community of authors and creators that grow my game table more than just the people sitting at it is so special.
That's kind of been the dream, is to be a part of that. We're very excited to just add our voice and our passion to the bigger picture.
We're so excited to have so many people making and sharing their D&D content with other people. We're thrilled to announce some of our partnerships with creators that you know and love, whose content will be coming to the D&D Beyond marketplace.
Part of our reimagining of D&D's core books was us also wanting to return to D&D's most popular setting, the Forgotten Realms.
We are super excited about the Forgotten Realms guide. There hasn't been a player's guide in 5th edition.
It's too much to fit into one book. So our return to the realms is going to be in 2 books. One tailor-made for dungeon masters, and the other a book that is tailor-made for players, but also of use to our DMs.
We start the new player options. Lots of great, crunchy stuff for players to dig into to make new characters. New subclasses, new feats, new backgrounds, new spells, new kinds of spells. And then a chapter on factions that player characters can belong to. A lot of these will be factions that you'll recognize, like the Harpers or the Red Wizards of Thay, and maybe a couple of new ones that maybe got promoted.
Then over in the Dungeon Master focused book, that's where we're really going to dig into different parts of the realms.
If you want to do urban fantasy, well, we've got Baldur's Gate just for you. If you want to go do survival horror, you can take your adventure off to Icewind Dale. We've got sort of classic D&D fantasy where you have all these little isolated towns that live around this giant elvish mega dungeon that you can go into and explore. There's the Dale lands for you. And maybe you're having some fairy stories or you're having conflict that you can resolve without violence. That's all the Moonshae Isles. And then finally, the land of Kalimshan.
Each one of those both delivers on a different play style and just almost a different biome and like world that you can inhabit from a fantasy perspective.
I'm thrilled to be creating source books for players and DMs that will invite them back into that world in a way that we haven't done in years.
We're really looking to set up a future where everyone has this like shared resource of tools and ways to connect and play together so that they can take that experience and share it with their friends, share their creativity together, and create the next 50 years of D&D.
I saved you, and I'm here to save you again.
So many of us played Baldur's Gate 3.
What in the sweet hells were you thinking?
This is the opportunity for people to continue their adventures in this new way to play D&D.
We have this 3D sandbox where you can bring your friends and play D&D with all of these cool 3D environment pieces and miniatures that come with the product. You can start experiencing a role-playing game, but in a more digital-friendly format.
You go take those characters, Asterion and Karlak, you get to play with them and just tell your own tale.
Where people who may be used to video games actually get to see the thing that you're talking about instead of just trying to imagine it.
And it's not meant to replace your imagination. In fact, you actually need a lot of imagination still.
You actually just pick up the miniatures and move them around, and you can build things like you would build at your table with 3D terrain pieces. You have 3D characters that you can look at, manipulate, dress up. What we're trying to do is get the most fast, fun, accessible version of the game.
It's basically playing D&D on your own virtual tabletop. Just easy, fast, fun. If you played with minis before, you're just playing with minis here. It's just a place for you to connect with your friends online whenever you want.
We're creating a lot of really cool assets so you can create these worlds and tell your own story.
The tools aren't just about building the walls. You have to bring life inside that dungeon. And of course you can make monsters, but we want you to be able to add sound effects, visual effects.
The adventure that we created to start your journey in the 3D sandbox is called Danger in Dunbarrow.
This is like the best starter pack that's ever existed for Dungeons & Dragons.
You can also bring in any character from D&D Beyond, and it will bring in all of your equipment and all of your abilities and spells, and you can use those by clicking on the buttons.
And we also have a thing we're calling the Mini Maker, different scales, sizes, the look of it.
The awesome thing about D&D is you continue to get like magical items, and then you can go back to your character and redress them up over and over again and show your individuality within the group, and you just feel the progression.
We're really trying to capture this toyetic vibe. So all of our assets are created in a way that's like actually buying like a high-end mini or figure. We want it to feel kind of painted, but kind of realistic, trying to capture that beautiful in-between where art and figures and games come together.
We have an idea that's called a module. It's a D&D mini adventure meant to last a few hours just so that you can get a taste or get a part of your adventure. We didn't want to tell the whole story for you, so we give you these places. You want to go to a graveyard? Well, here's a graveyard. You want to go to a mine? You want to go to town? You can then assemble them how you want, but each has a pre-made story in it, characters, adventures, and so it's a great place to start. You're modding games more than making everything whole cloth, which is just faster and more fun for most people.
But we also have a builder, which is awesome. So you can create your own dungeon, you can create your own forest.
The level builder is sort of like the best miniature set that you could have, and it's at your fingertips.
It comes in a variety of different kit pieces, so you can snap together multiple walls.
It's really strong for DMs because you can use the level builder to make something very quickly, or you can spend as much time as you want to on it, whatever story they're trying to tell.
The Dungeon Master has to have secrets, has to be able to surprise the players. We have secret doors and traps, right? We have gizmos like, you know, lifts that go up and down, all sorts of crazy stuff. Really make that storytelling dynamic.
2D tokens are our way to let you bring in like every monster that can put any image on there, or you can bring in your own image and create a unique character.
You don't even have to play Dungeons & Dragons necessarily, right? If you want to throw in your own custom rule set or another game, we roll dice, we have toys, like go crazy. We're starting with Dungeons & Dragons, but there's so much more you can do with it. All sorts of kinds of games and all sorts of types of toys that we want to add over the years.
We're opening it up so you can bring in any kind of character you want, like fight Drist against a robot. You know, you'll be able to do that with all the groups that we're working with.
It's great because we're using those characters and we're telling stories, but we're giving them over to the players too, so you can really play out what you've always wanted to do. The big deal is it wouldn't be Dungeons & Dragons if you couldn't share it, right? There's a huge creator community. They're the ones who've kept the game growing and going. So people are gonna be able to share these with each other. We're integrated with D&D Beyond. It's able to very easily organize information and create characters so that you can play that same character either in a book, on a piece of paper, on the web, or in this 3D immersive world. And if you have an original 2D map, you can easily upload that through D&D Beyond's map feature. With just one click, you can share that map into Project Sigil, drop down your minis, and keep right on playing. We're starting off on PC, but we want to go everywhere because we want to connect players across mobile, console, and I don't know, maybe even your fridge. Wherever you want to play, we want to be there at your fingertips. This 3D immersive experience is going to be available for free to try out, but also players are going to get it. DMs are going to get even more advanced tools. And we're going to offer even deeper, richer experiences for those who really want to dedicate themselves to the 3D side of this. Whether it's D&D Beyond, the books, or the 3D experience, we just want to make it easier, faster, put more creative control in your hands. We want to thank you for being a part of the exciting development of Project Sigil and invite everyone with a D&D Beyond account to join the closed beta coming this fall. Sign up for free right now at dndbeyond.com/project-sigil. And as an extra bonus, when you pre-order the 2024 digital and physical horror rulebook bundle, you will get this awesome Gold Dragon Mini to kickstart your Project Sigil collection.